Hey, all you fishing addicts out there, thank you so much for tuning into another addicted video. Today we're out on the lake with Cameron, and since he's gotten so into bass fishing the last couple of years, really the last kind of like 5 years, right?
Yeah, probably.
He does a ton of drop shotting, and I figured, you know what? I've seen a bunch of videos on YouTube where people have employed drop shotting techniques to try to catch trout. So on today's video, we're gonna teach you exactly how to drop shot for trout. It's coming up next.
Oh, I'm on two doubles! Doubles! Look at that, just pinned him up on the old drop shot. Look, like I'm hanging from the main line, guys. So when it comes to drop shotting, guys, what you're gonna wanna have is you're gonna wanna have a rod that has just a very fast action. In other words, a rod that doesn't bend all the way to the handle, just basically the tip bends. And the reason why you want that is because you wanna have a little hook setting power, because I feel like if you're gonna go drop shot for trout, you'd also have a nice crossover rod and be able to use that for bass fishing as well. And so the same techniques that you're gonna use for trout, you're gonna employ for bass fishing. The other thing you're gonna want is a little bit of a spinning rod, and you're gonna wanna have a rod that's probably 6.5 feet to about 7 feet long. You don't want a real long loopy rod. It's short action. It's meant to be able to detect a bite. It's easier to detect a bite with a shorter rod. And then also when you set the hook, you want a very quick response, because if they're going to be grabbing that little bait up against that main line, they're not going to really have the chance to really like swallow the bait all the way in. So once you feel it start ticking that main line, you're probably going to want to set the hook. That shorter rod is going to help you do that. I'm using a 3000 size spinning reel. This happens to be an 𝗛𝗘𝗟𝗣 series rod, but again, looking for that rod, and that 6.5 to 7 foot is what you're gonna want. You're gonna be casting a lot of times anywhere between like an 1/8 ounce and maybe about a 1/2 ounce lead. Now the whole point of a drop shot is to have this lead sit on the bottom and then have your bait suspend off the bottom. And so what I've done here is I have a little hook that I tied into this main line and a little piece of power bait on it. Now you can use power bait, worms, little grubs, little plastic trout traps, whatever it may be, but the idea is that you never have to worry about that bait sinking to the bottom, because with the weight on the bottom and your rod tip holding the line, the main line up, it's gonna suspend that bait at whatever distance you put between your weight and your hook. Another thing of note, guys, is that since you are kind of using your main line as a leader, I've got a real light 6-pound here. Now, if I was gonna go, do some like larger bass fishing or maybe even some larger trout, you might wanna up that to like 8 to 10, but you gotta be a little bit sensitive to how clear the water is and if the fish are gonna be spooky of the line. That's the one very small disadvantage to drop shotting. However, if you're fishing at depths that are deeper than 10, 20, 30 feet, depending on the clarity of the lake, you're not gonna have to worry about that as much as things get kind of dulled down and get a little bit darker down there. We're fishing here about 10, 12 feet of water. It's not the clearest water in the world, but I'm getting away with a 6-pound test today. The way you guys wanna drop shot is you wanna cast out and on a tight line, feel that lead hit the bottom, and then depending on if you're using a bait or depending on if you're using a lure, you're gonna want to impart just a little bit of shaking action to it, and then you're gonna wanna also test to see exactly what the fish are reacting to, whether they want it moving, whether they want it kind of articulating down there, or if it's a bait and they just want it perfectly still. These fish are kind of wary today, so I'm just gonna let that bait kind of marinate there and see if I can get a bite. Oh, I'm getting a bite right now, Sean, I'm getting a bite. Oh, right. Oh, got him.
Got him!
There we go. Nice. So I kept that rod nice and high. Oh, it's a nice trout. Yeah.
Woo! To the smoker, baby.
That's going to the smoker. Look at that. Yeah, that worked out real nice one too.
Oh yeah, doubled up on the Castmaster.
Hey, this is a drop shot tutorial. What are you doing?
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. All right, here we go, guys. Real nice, healthy trout. Look at that, hooked right there in the lip. And like I said, if you guys want to fish like worms like actual like earthworms, that is deadly for the trout with this rig, because sometimes it's kind of a pain in the butt to use a bobber or the fish are real deep, and sometimes you want to make that bait float off the bottom. If you use a drop shot rig and just take a little chunk of earthworm and hang it on there, game over. And it also works really well for crappie, bluegill, or any of your bass. So since we're trout fishing, guys, I'm just gonna use a very small size 8 hook. Now, if I was to be bass fishing, something like a size 2 or a 2/0, depending on kind of the grade of fish I'd be targeting, they got bigger mouths and you can kind of get away with it. So what I'm gonna do is, it's really important to tie your hook into your main line with the hook point oriented upwards. If it's faced downwards and it's rotated like that and you set the hook, it's never gonna get, I mean, not saying never, I shouldn't say never, but it could most likely miss you know, the upper roof of the jaw. So you always are gonna wanna have the hook oriented upwards. This way, when you set the hook up, that point is going to be going into the fish. I'm gonna show you how to tie that right now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my 6-pound line here. This might be a little difficult to see, but it's a very easy knot, so bear with me. I'm gonna take the hook and I'm gonna put the line through the eye to where the hook point is gonna be oriented up. And all I'm gonna do is run it up where I want the hook to sit on my line. So I'm gonna do about 1.5 feet of extra line. Then I'm just gonna I'm gonna make a loop, and all I'm gonna do is just make a loop of the line. I'm not putting it back through the eye, I'm just laying that loop right next to the hook. And then all I'm gonna do is take my hook and I'm gonna twist it through that loop about 6 to 8 times. I'll do 6 times right here for you guys, just so you get the idea. 5, 6. Now, as you can see, I've got all these twists on the line and the hook's kind of hanging there in the middle. I'm gonna start pulling that tight, and what that'll do is eventually, once I cinch it all down, boom, look at that. Now see how it's got knot on each side of the eye, and it's holding that hook in that upright position where when I set the hook, the point's gonna be going into the fish or whatever I'm trying to target. Another thing nice about this technique is they've designed these little leads with this little special pinch at the top. And what you want to do with those is just take the very tip of your line, tie just a little overhand pretzel knot, nothing fancy, and just basically make a little knot at the end of your line, like so. And then it's really easy to just slide your line through that and then pull that tight, and that little knot will cinch that and it'll just attach it to your line. Now you can also use little casting weights, you can use whatever you want to use, or you can even use just a couple, you can take a couple split shot even and attach it to your line. But the reason why they use these little cylinder weights is that if you were to be bass fishing or down in the rock or something like that, there's very little likelihood that that weight's going to snag, or I should say less likelihood that that weight is going to snag in the bottom. And then if it does, a lot of times it just breaks right there. You just tie another little overhand knot and it's real quick, real fast, real efficient on attaching that lead right back to your line. All right, so now you can see when that line's tight, that hook point is up. I've got it about 1.5 feet off the bottom, and now I'm just gonna add a little bit of power bait to that and go catch another trout. Now a huge advantage of this too is I never have to worry about my hook sinking my bait. And if I'm fishing in a weedy area or a real grassy area and I want my bait to be over the top of whatever that structure I'm fishing is, I'm just gonna lengthen this distance between my hook and my weight. You know, if the grass is 2 feet tall, I'll have 3 feet of line here, and then that bait is just gonna hover exactly where it needs to the whole time. So the other thing about drop shotting, guys, is the further out I cast in shallower water, the lower that angle of line's gonna be and the lower the bait's gonna sit. So this technique works really good if you're by deep water and you can kind of fish a little bit more vertically over the top of them, so you keep that line angle like so instead of having it flattened out. However, again, even if it is flattened out, that angle will still keep whatever you're fishing, like whether it be an earthworm, piece of power bait, up off the bottom, and you should still be able to keep that hook from snagging up all the time. Since today's not windy, I can keep my tip kind of nice and high in the air, and I can keep that line angle where my bait's gonna be sitting in about 10 or 12 feet of water just to keep that bait off. But if it's really, really windy, what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna actually keep your tip down. Oh, I think I just got bit. You're gonna wanna keep that tip down so the wind's not pushing and pulling on your line, so you can actually feel what you're trying to catch there. Oh, I'm getting bit, Sean, ready? Oh, I got him. I got him. Drop shot's coming through. Oh my gosh, tail walking. Just going crazy. Look at that. Just, oh, we lost him. Oh, I'll have to catch another one. Guess I gotta do it again. All right, here we go. Come on.
What are you using?
Power bait.
They don't want the marshmallow.
So apparently there's a lot of fish down there.
Huh.
Holy smokes. They got real finicky on our lures, so we switched to the...
Oh my God. I was getting crushed.
I saw that on the corner of my eye. Bet you got your bait though, huh?
Nope, he's still on it. What is he doing?
Oh my gosh.
Maybe I shouldn't have put 2 of those little things on there. I don't think he can eat it. Or do I have him and he's just so small? I don't know.
Huh.
I'm taking two of those is not the move. Oh yeah, I don't even have a hook exposed. Idiot.
Oh, you little... All right, I'm going back to power bait. I'm going back to the old bait of power. Bait of power, man. Keep missing them on those little eggs. I'll play their little game. They don't even know they're in trouble. Ow! Hook myself. That's cool. I'm gonna do a tutorial about how to take a hook out of my hand. All right, let's play ball.
Got him.
Marlon's getting in on the action now.
Cameron rigged me up, guys. Now I'm catching him. Ooh, decent one. Oh yeah, flip him in. Oh yeah, right into my bag. Perfect. Get out of here, dude. Seriously? Oh, one of them already died.
There you go.
Oh yeah. Oh,
that's a good one.
Dude. Oh, are you kidding
You gotta be kidding me.
Dude, I was like trying to be a showboatman for the camera too. That was idiotic, guys. Could have landed that one. Oh.
Oh
my gosh, dude.
Just let him go to town on that. Still miss him. Don't put that in the tutorial. Don't put that in the tutorial, Sean. Us missing them all.
There might be some right there, Cam.
There might be some right ahead of us. You think we'll get a
Holy
bite? You think I might catch one? Yeah. Oh God.
They're everywhere out there, dude.
That's impressive. Oh, he dropped it.
Are you sure?
No, he didn't.
I was gonna say it looked like he had it.
Golly! He freaking dropped it again.
These trout are working us over.
I drilled him one. I drilled him one. Dirty, stinking trout. So depending how active your trout are, if you guys want to fish just...
Oh, and they're active.
Oh, get that out of here. He's using bait. But one thing you guys I want to show you real fast is taking one of our little micro worms and taking the hook, and instead of hooking that through where, you know, you normally like do like a pink worm for like steelhead, what you'd actually want to do is take that hook and just go through the tip of the worm. And what that's going to allow that to do right there is when it's hanging in the water and it's bouncing up and down and being moved by the rod, you'll get a lot of really good movement on it. It'll sit there and kind of wavel in the water, and what you're actually really trying to go for is have that, having that bait just lay flat in the water while it's bouncing around on the bottom. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
If I don't catch that,
absolutely crazy.
If I don't get this one, then something's wrong.
We're going bass fishing.
Oh!
Get him in the boat, Marlon. Get him in the boat.
Oh, he swallowed it, dude.
Good work.
Yeah, this one is literally down its freaking throat.
Did you get one that quick?
Ladies on!
Oh, I'm on 2 doubles.
Double! Doubles!
Big double. Oh, 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 oh. You gotta bass him in. You gotta bass him in. Gotta bass him in. Gotta bass him in. Gotta bass him in. Just kidding. Look at that. Just pinned him up on the old drop shot. Look, I'm hanging from the main line, guys. All right. Got that one pinned up on the old drop shot. Man, pretty fun little way to fish, especially when the fish were being real finicky. It's real, you know, clear today, real sunny, real warm. And sometimes these trout can be a little bit tough to get to bite. So give that drop shot a try, guys. Put a little bait on there and see if you can catch them. Now, a couple things real fast is if you want to see an episode on some good trout fishing, we just filmed one. We're doing it actually on the same day we're doing it here. Please check that out. And if you guys have any other trout tutorials you guys want us to go through and see and hopefully catch you guys a few fish, be sure to comment those below. I got nothing else. We'll see you on the next time.
We'll see you on the river.